Hi, it's Ileana, and today I'm going to be discussing beautiful seventh dimensional realms and eighth dimensional realms. A place called Vaikuntha, which is where the extraterrestrial being called Vishnu actually comes from. Vishnu Krishna, where Rama visited. So it's the place of the beings who have blue skin. Um, in the Hindu scriptures, the Vedas, and the ancient texts, they talk about the various gods and goddesses, the blue beings, that had come to the Hindu people and had taught them wisdom, had shared technologies with them, like the flying chariots called the Vimanas. That mythology and that history origin comes from the wisdom teachings and scriptures of the Vedas, which, from what I have learned, was written by the sages, the people who were observing what was going on in ancient history. And they sort of had an idea that these weren't really gods, but extraterrestrial beings coming from the seventh dimension of the celestial planets. And one of these planets, seven planets, was called Vaikuntha. And you can enter into Vaikuntha through portals. There's portals and fields of energy that go to that particular density state of that realm on that planet. So it was interesting to study about this and to actually astral travel to Vaikuntha. And I saw a lot of different shades of blue beings with blue skin, light skin, blue skin, darker blue skin, flying around on, get this, lotus looking craft shaped like a lotus. So if you think to Arabian Nights and Aladdin flying on the carpet, except it's not a carpet. And what Aladdin flew on was not a carpet either. It was a hovercraft, a mini hovercraft or a mini hoverboard. This is what these guys with blue skin are flying on, mini hovercrafts that can hover above their cities. And it happens to be somewhat in the shape of a round lotus, like a lotus flower. It's not a flower, but that's the dynamic shape that it flies in. So it was amazing to see this. And there were so many beautiful plants and trees and large forests, healing living plants and forests. You touch it, you touch the tree or the plant, and it heals you. You feel energized physically. You feel a new vibration of healing energy. It takes away anxiety, pain, depression, feelings of sadness. So those healing plants are really special in that they do heal. And the trees, you touch the tree and it sends you healing energy. It was very beautiful. Even through the astral travel experience, when I touched the plants and the trees in my light body, I could feel the healing. So that particular planet is not a material world. Those seven celestial planets are not material worlds. So again, there's no money there, there's no pain, no suffering, no anxiety, no emotional imbalance states of existence. It's all involved. It is all in balance and perfect harmony because it's the seventh dimension. Even though it looks like they have physical bodies, their bodies are more energetic states with a partially physical body, but more of a light body mixed in with a semi-physical body. And that's possible to be semi-corporeal. That's possible in the higher dimensions because they can manifest anything into their reality that they want. They could be in a full light body and appear as a light being to you with a blue aura around them, or they can create a semi-corporeal body, part light body, part physical, and you'll see a blue being on a Lotus flying aircraft, hovercraft, or hoverboard, because it's not a big craft. So, and they have beautiful cities by waterfalls and mountains and forests. There's a lot of blue and green on that planet, a lot of water, a lot of land, so beautiful, utopian. So that's the first place that I saw when I was exploring about the Vedas. I heard about Vaikuntha so much, and I heard that it's the celestial planets without materialism there, and that it is located near the constellation of Capricorn. So the locality is actually beyond the physical world, but it's still within the realm of a solar system or a constellation. So it's a physical place with a location parameter where a portal can take you. So I was activated to go through the portal because I can walk between life and death. I am part of life, and I've also gone to places where people pass on the other side. I've been on the other side in my light body. So I can walk between realms, dimensions. I can easily adjust my own energy. And I was initiated to go to this place, Vaikuntha. So that's the first place I visited. Then I was also activated, and I went to the Halls of Amenti. I started communicating with Thoth the Atlantean, and I started reading the Emerald Tablets of Thoth by Maurice Doreal, the original copy from 1994, which has the tablets of Thoth, the Emerald Tablets, and Doreal's translation key. So it has two keys, the tablets and the translation of what Doreal is describing because again, the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, what Thoth wrote, is encrypted in riddles. So you have to read between the lines. So Doreal's translation makes everything clear. It's like the missing cliff notes, if you will, but more than the cliff notes. It's amazing. And I got activated to go to the Halls of Amenti. Some call it Amenti, some call it Amenti. It's the proper way to say it, Halls of Amenti. That's the proper way. But sometimes I say Amenti. I'm not sure why. It's interesting. So the proper way to say it is the Halls of Amenti. And I'd gone there once before in about 2018, and I saw a lot of interesting artifacts. Like I saw a crystalline piano with tuning harmonics, and I saw crystalline energies the first time I went there, but I was just looking around. I wasn't fully activated. I was just looking. This time, when I got activated and I went there, I was able to go to other realms. So the Halls of Amenti are actually a place between life and death, 7th and 8th dimensional. What I saw there was amazing. I'm like, there's so many different corridors. There's so many different rooms, portal rooms that lead to other places and dimensions. And I went to several dimensions, about 10. I saw crystalline caves with healing energy, and I got crystal downloads from the crystalline cave. It was a very cold place, but it was beautiful. I went to several warm places. I actually saw what's called the Flower of Life throne, and the Flower of Fire throne, and the Flower of Death throne. And I was called to go to the Flower of Life throne and sit on it, because I physically went to the Halls of Amenti. So I was in my body. I was partially in my light body and partially in my physical body as a combo. but I was physically there. I wasn't astral traveling. I went through the portals. I inputted the key codes of the emerald tablets of Thoth because I understood the coding. And I went there, and it's a 7th, 8th dimensional realm. It's under the Cheops pyramid in Egypt, because Thoth, the Atlantean, had built the Giza pyramids and the Sphinx. He was one of the architects. So the Halls of Amenti, the main entrance is under the Cheops pyramid in Egypt. So I went through that portal system. I can track energetically the portals on Earth and off planet and on other planets. So I track the portal. I put in the proper emerald key sequence codes. Yes, it's emerald, green codes, triangles, circles, other symbols. Put in the codes, went in. The first thing that I saw was the different portal rooms in the corridors. So it's an actual energetic physical place where beings who are on spiritual paths of evolution go to learn their wisdom, soul evolution. That's one of the purposes of the Halls of Amenti. It's mini Akashic records, it's portal travel, it's interdimensional travel between different times, the past, the present, or the future. Some of the portals lead to different timelines and realities, not just the present time, but the past, the present, or the future timelines. So I got to see so many things, and the first thing that I saw was the portal rooms, and then I saw the various rooms where the artifacts are, like the Flower of Life throne, and it had hues of purple and blues and gold energy. That's what it looked like, and I was called and drawn to it to go to it and physically sit on it. And the moment that I did, my Kundalini energy was so activated. It was amazing. I just felt so much beautiful golden energy around me. It's like seeing golden fire, literally, but in a good way. And there came out from the throne, the blue ray sphere, literal blue ray looking sphere. And it went inside my chest. And it showed me a time in the future where Earth receives a blue light stream all over the planet. And we start to remember everything in ancient history, Atlantis, Lemuria, what happened even before that on Earth. Because Earth is not just, 4.4 million years. It's much older. It's like 20 million. Could be older even. And the universe is more than 4 billion years old. So, and we've been around as living beings more than 200,000 years on Earth. Atlantis, the first epoch of Atlantis was 2 million years ago. Yeah, it had like 4 or 5 different epochs. It was founded by the ETs, the Lyrians, Pleiadians, Andromedans, Arcturians, Aldacians. At later points, it was infiltrated by reptilians. There was Anunnaki genetic manipulation of the Adamic human race. They tried to alter the Adamic. They created actually the Adamic race from somewhat intelligent primates that were living on Earth at the time. Similar to Neanderthals and others, there were several humanoid hominid species. So they adapted one of these into the Adamic man, Adam and Eve, the Garden of Eve. That was real. That was the Anunnaki genetic experimentation. So I got to see that, and I got to see that we're much older than 200,000 years. So the historic record of humans just existing 200,000 years, much older than that. I got to see that through the sphere, that blue ray sphere. I got to see that future event where again, there's a blue stream of light coming into the solar system, entering Earth, and upgrading our genetic cellular memories and upgrading our DNA beyond 2-stranded to like 4-stranded, and us remembering all this stuff. That's part of the event horizon that's going to happen, part of that event where energetically we're upgraded. Not just extraterrestrials always upgrading our DNA physically or energetically, but actually something that is coming from the solar system. It's coming from the sun, and it's coming from other sources of galactic creation to upgrade us, but not one specific extraterrestrial race or their genetic experiments. So the Anunnaki, the reptilians, various groups, and either hybridized beings and greys have been involved in our genetic manipulation, genetic engineering of the humans. Anunnaki wanted to make us slave labor instead of their other reptilian race called a Gigi or a Gigi. So to mine gold on Earth 450,000 years ago. This is something else I saw in the Halls of Amenti when I was there. Saw a lot of Earth history, how Marduk was in charge of Mars. They had their colonies on Mars and Earth. I saw a lot of history. And some of it was new to me, and some of it wasn't, because I had recently wrote a book about cosmic history of galactic humans. So some of it was already, I knew about it, and I saw a sequence of events happening again while I was sitting in the Flower of Life throne. Some of the info was new to me because it focused more on Atlantis. It focused more on the genetic experiments and the creator gods, the different gods. Who were they? What they did? So that was interesting, seeing the genetic modifications in the sequence of events. Very interesting. So I got a lot of history downloads. And this, when the sphere entered me, it boosted my ability to tap into ancient historical records from Earth Akashic records and other planets, other planetary bodies in our solar system and elsewhere. And I now can tap into the Halls of Amenti anytime I want, because I've been fully activated to be there and to explore it, to explore the place. So this Flower of Life throne and the Blu-ray sphere, it really has activated my genetic cellular memory to basically make it go faster in how I can access past life events in my own Akashic records, and in general, universal Akashic records or specific planetary Akashic records of histories. So I'm exploring a lot of different history, and it focuses on the Halls of Amenti, focuses on the creator gods, the extraterrestrials, Egypt, Atlantis, Lemuria, and genetic manipulation and coding. This is, and how Alexander the Great is connected to this, because he was genetically modified. He thought of himself as a demigod, and he was a strong, physically strong person and very intelligent. He was only 5'6", and he was Greek. But how was he able to conquer half of, like, most of Europe and Asia? And he even went into India, but he turned back because didn't know the climate, didn't know, it was too different than Europe. Pulled back from that, but this guy never lost a battle, ever. And the way he trained his army and military, the Greek military, wow. He was an amazing strategist. He was an interesting and intelligent person. He wasn't perfect, but he valued family. He even, when he took over places, he gave people amnesty, he did sell some of his enemies into enslavement. So he wasn't perfect, but he was a complicated blend of a lot of things. And genetic manipulation was involved to give them that intelligence and strength and the ability to train armies with such patience to get what he wanted. So that's beyond normal human capacity. So it was quite interesting. And get this, Alexander the Great, his tomb is actually not in Egypt anymore. It's not under the city of Alexandria. It was moved elsewhere. It was moved under Jordan. There's a secret location where his tomb was placed. There's a sarcophagus. He's in a sarcophagus, Egyptian-looking sarcophagus, but it's glass-like. It's not glass with inscriptions. And inside the sarcophagus, there's a stasis pod, and his body is in the stasis pod. So he was put into cryostasis animation, suspended animation, to preserve his body. The body is alive, the soul has left the body, but the body's there. So there's genetic provenance of what was done to him. And there's treasure in the tomb. There's gold and other things, and one of the Arks of the Covenant, and it is shielded and protected. So there's, to take down that kind of shield, you need a specific waveform scalar type resonance device to take down the shielding to go into this tomb. So it's very guarded and protected. This is something that I have seen through remote viewing recently. It was very interesting. So there's that aspect. And also in the Halls of Amenti, under these thrones, I saw holographic medical pods, or the medic pods, as I now shorten them, that can regenerate life frequency, life force, and extend to keep you young, extend the ability to reverse the aging process by 50,000 years. Amazing. Every 15,000 years, you come back into the Hall of Amenti, you sit on the throne, it lowers to a different level, and it takes you to the medical pod. You get in, it closes, glass-like again. There's a certain type of mist that enters. It's glass-like, but it's not a glass covering. And you stay there for about a week or 2 or 3, or a month even. It depends on how much regeneration you need done to the body, how long you've been gone from the Halls of Amenti. It regenerates your life frequency, your life force energies, your physical body, and you don't need to come back for another 50,000 years or 10,000, it depends. And there's also the Lords of the Cycles in the Halls of Amenti. The 7 and the 9 connected to the Council of 9. Halls of Amenti is connected to that council. And these Lords of the Cycles, they're beyond time and space. Their energy bodies are projected in the Halls of Amenti, but their physical bodies are in their own time frames, somewhere else, outside of our solar system. This is all amazing, and I got to explore all of this. So the medical pods, or the holographic medical pods, as they're called on Mars, they're ancient technology that has existed since Atlantis and before. And the Halls of Amenti is one of these places that has this regenerative technology. It's amazing. I didn't go into the pod. I took the chance to sit on the throne, the Flower of Life throne, and this is where the Flower of Life and the Flower of Fire concepts come from, the Halls of Amenti, because that's the artifact technology that's there. So, again, incredible exploration of these places, and just amazing. Because I had read the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, the Atlantean, but I had only read the original translation, just the tablets, and it took me 4 years to get to find the original book, the 1994 version of the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, because you need the original tablets, that's key 1, and you need the second key translation by M. Doriel. Those are the true Emerald Tablets of Thoth, the original version written by him. And they're keys to discovering the secrets and the wisdom teachings of Thoth the Atlantean, literally. So this is what further activated me to go deeper into the Halls of Amenti, to have access to almost everything that's there. So to be able to work with that Flower of Life throne and to see all this stuff and to go to the other density realms where the portals can take you, the portal rooms that's in the Halls of Amenti. I did not interact with the Lords of the Cycles or the Council of Nine. I was just there to explore certain artifacts in certain realms that I was interested in, because Vaikuntha activated me to go further, to be able to go into the Halls of Amenti. I didn't interact with any of the blue beings in Vaikuntha or anyone in the Halls of Amenti. I was there purely for the environments and the artifacts, to get educated on that. I did interact with the different plant life and the trees and forests in Vaikuntha, and I got a healing. I got an energy boost to give me more energy and healing. I did do that in Vaikuntha, and I did sit on the Flower of Life throne in the Halls of Amenti. I did not try the Flower of Fire or the Flower of Death throne. It was quite very intense energy from the Flower of Life throne. A lot of energy plus the blue ray sphere. That blue ray sphere, wow, very strong, very, very energetically charged. So for me, just trying one of the thrones was enough. I am still in a human body, having a human experience, even though I'm multidimensional and I could travel to these places and explore. I'm still in a human body, so I wasn't sure what impact the Flower of Fire and the Flower of Death thrones would have on me. So, and the names are interesting, but wasn't ready for those experiences, and I didn't resonate with sitting on those thrones. I only resonated with the Flower of Life throne, and that's the one that was right for me to explore. So that's what I did, and it was amazing experiences. So the energy of the Halls of Amenti and Atlantis are coming back to us. Physically, frequency-wise, they're coming back. And at one point, we're going to learn the history of our ancient past as galactic humans on Earth and elsewhere. This information, this energy, it's coming back, and people are talking about it and exploring it in depth. I'm writing history books right now. So I'm going to be talking about all of these experiences in more depth and detail, because I believe we need to know about this. It's time we knew our heritage and who we are and who we were and who we will be. So I guess never planned on doing galactic history, being a galactic historian of sorts, but this is where my soul mission is starting to take me, and I'm going to explore it to the fullest depths of my abilities and write about it, talk about it, and share it with everyone, because I believe we should have access to our history. Now, what was done to us in the past by extraterrestrials, the histories and all these Akashic records, and who we are and where we're going. We deserve to know this. So I'll be exploring that in more detail. So I just wanted to share this little bit of updates with you guys and talk about these interesting experiences, multidimensional experiences that I've been having recently and have connected with. So thank you so much, and namaste.